right spot here on my Friday morning. The one and only Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champ, Jimmy Johnson. So good to have you with us, Coach. Thank you so much for making some time. Obviously, you know, we're big fans of the Cowboys on the show. And, you know, over the last quarter century, it's been rough for America's team. But I'm going to defer to the expert here on all things Cowboys. That would be one Stephen A. Smith, because I know he's champing at the bit to talk to you.
Well, first of all, Coach, it's great to see you. You look great, sir. Let me say that. And I just want to ask you, first of all, forgive me for asking this first question. Would you mind explaining to America out there what happened to the Cowboys this year? I mean, I know Dak got hurt. Is it that simple? Or is there something else that you saw that isn't working?
Well, obviously their defense struggled. They should have never changed over to a new scheme of defense. The players were out of position. I think they resisted the change. And they really struggled there for most of the season. That was a big part of it. And then, of course, getting the injury to Dak, but all the teams throughout the league had injuries. And so you just got to deal with injuries. But that was a devastating injury, of course. I think they still got a lot of talent, but they've got to put it together this offseason and improve that defense and get Dak signed to a contract and back healthy.
Coach, isn't it time to admit what's going on with the Cowboys here? They're cursed, like the Red Sox were after Babe Ruth. It's been a quarter century. It's the curse of Jimmy Johnson. Let's admit it. Jerry Jones couldn't take the fact, his ego couldn't take that you were getting credit. Barry Switzer won one with your team, with your players, and they haven't sniffed it since then. Is this not the curse of Jimmy Johnson?
I think it's the curse of Stephen A. Smith. He actually says, "How about them?" He says, "How about them Cowboys?" Better than I do. Stephen A., that's your curse. You're the one that's cursing.
I'll take it. I'll take it. But on a slightly more serious note, before we get into the conversations about the Super Bowl, because I really want to hear what you have to say about that. I do, in all seriousness, I think it's an absolute travesty that you are not in the Cowboys' Ring of Honor. I know you may not care, but you belong in there, and I just want to say that for the record. Do you even care about that? Does that matter to you, sir?
Well, of course, you want accolades. You want to be recognized. Jerry's told me 3 or 4 times over the last 10 years that he was going to put me in. He may wait until I croak before he puts me in, but he will do it eventually.
Okay. I mean, come on. Could you imagine, like, the Chicago Bulls? We're going to have a Ring of Honor, and Phil Jackson's not. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Let's go to the Super Bowl, Coach. We got Kansas City and Tampa Bay going at one another. Talk to me, highlight this matchup for me. What are your thoughts going into Super Bowl 55?
Well, I never thought that I would even consider going up against Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes. Andy's one of the great coaches of all time. Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen, including John Elway, which I didn't ever think anybody would be more talented than Elway. But you look at it, the Buccaneers, they're probably going to get Antonio Brown back. That'll help. And then with Kansas City, with those tackles being injured, with Fisher being out, Todd Bowles has done such a great job with that Buccaneer defense. He's going to give Mahomes some problems. Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time just because of the record. He's won more Super Bowls than anybody ever will win. But Patrick Mahomes, when we got ready for the Super Bowl last year, watching him, he's just so special. He can make all the throws. He's got great vision. He's mobile. Just such a talented quarterback. I can't go against him and Andy Reid.
Coach, neither can I. And Mahomes reminds me, you bring up Elway. I think of Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre had a baby. Like, he has all the stuff that Aaron Rodgers has,
Yeah.
plus that gunslinger stuff, but he doesn't make the mistakes Favre made. What is it about Mahomes that jumps out at you that makes him different from Elway or even from Rodgers?
Well, you look at, he protects the ball. I think it's because of his vision. He makes the great deep throws. And, of course, he's got the great speed at receiver, but he makes great deep throws. He's always got Kelsey that he can go to. He's his security blanket. But he can throw from all kinds of angles. He doesn't have to really have his feet set. He can, get out of the pocket. He's got a great feel for avoiding the rush. I could go on and on and on with all the accolades. He's the best I've ever seen. Now, I think Aaron Rodgers, maybe one of the most talented quarterbacks around, but even Aaron Rodgers can't go, with Mahomes. He is just special.
Yeah, and Coach, he's just getting started. But Coach, I want to ask you this because the other dominant storyline this week, obviously besides the Super Bowl, is Deshaun Watson. What do you make of this whole situation, and what team do you think would be a good fit for him?
I think the best fit for Deshaun Watson is, if I was David Culley, I'd go knock on his door, and I'd say, Deshaun, let's have us a Michelob Ultra. And I would talk to him, and I'd do whatever it takes. I'd put my ego aside, and I'd say, hey, the best thing for you is to stay right here, make concessions, do whatever it takes. Do not lose that player. As far as trades, it's so difficult with the salary cap, with the contracts. Really what you got to do compensation wise to make trades. But with Deshaun Watson, David Culley needs to try to keep him there, try to talk him out of it. That's the best thing going right now.
Coach, I'm a little surprised that you say that, because while the Texans have really screwed this up, what Deshaun Watson would bring back, you were the guy. I mean, you built a dynasty on a trade for Herschel Walker, and as valuable as running backs were then, it ain't a quarterback today. Deshaun Watson be the biggest trade in history. The Texans could rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah, but they're not going to win any games if they don't have a quarterback. And I had a little similar situation when I had Steve Walsh and Troy Aikman. Troy wasn't real happy that I drafted Steve Walsh, my quarterback from Miami, but I drafted Steve Walsh for one reason, to trade him to get some picks. I got a 1, 2, and a 3 for him. But that first year, I had to walk a tightrope between the two. I couldn't, say, hey, Troy Aikman's my guy, because I didn't want to diminish the trade value for Walsh. But after Walsh was traded, then I go to Troy's house and I knock on his door, and he had mentioned he kind of liked tropical fish tanks. I said, hey, let's have us a cold beverage and let's spend some time together. Let's set up your tropical fish tank. We went out and spent the entire day together. We were looking around for tropical fish. I set up a tank in his house, and we bonded. And so you got to do whatever it takes to keep that quarterback. They're hard to find.
Coach, what does it say to you, being the experienced NFL aficionado that you are? What does it say to you that Deshaun Watson feels the way that he feels now? After just signing a long-term deal with them a year ago, for it to be a 180, to me that says it's about something more than just football that's going on with that organization, Coach.
Well, I don't think it was right. I think they upset him, and it would have upset me by, trading Hopkins. Here you've got a great receiver. That's one thing. The other thing is, evidently, there's some people around there that he doesn't like. Well, if he didn't like them, other than the owner, I'd get rid of them, because they're not near as important as Watson. Do whatever it takes. Make concessions. Keep that quarterback.
Coach, let me ask you this. Say we were sitting back and having a Michelob Ultra Light, and we were discussing Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Would you give the same type of advice? Would you say the Dallas Cowboys should do whatever it takes to keep Dak Prescott?
Well, they should have done whatever it took 3 years ago. They should have done whatever it took 2 years ago. They should have given in to a 4-year contract rather than wanting a 5-year contract last year. He's the leader of that football team. He's the right kind of person. You can win with him. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but he is an outstanding winning quarterback that you can win a championship with. And so they need to do whatever it takes to get him signed.
Coach, I need your help. Because here's the deal, Coach. Here's the deal, Coach.
Okay.
I need your spirit. I need you, Coach. Because I want to shock everybody. I don't like seeing this. I actually like Jerry Jones a lot. I really do. I like this man.
I do too.
And here's my issue with him. It's the Ring of Honor. To me, it should be the fans making that decision, not the owner of the Cowboys in terms of the Ring of Honor. It's Dak Prescott. He wants to hold out for 5 years instead of giving him a 4. Jerry Jones just seems to get in his own way too much. What can we do to help Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Stephen A., I like Jerry. I mean, I really have a great relationship. And people talk about him meddling. He doesn't meddle. He didn't meddle with me at all. He is the finest businessman I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, as far as the Ring of Honor, that's fine. It will happen. He's told me enough times. It will happen eventually. I'm fine with it. Whenever he wants to put me in, that's fine. I'll go with it.
Okay.
All right.
I like Jerry.
I know.
I like
Jimmy
Jerry.
does too. Jimmy
do
does
too.
too.
You see what it takes
Maybe in
to be-
another decade it'll happen.
Who doesn't like Jerry? He can walk in a room. He's got that smile on. Norm Turner used to tell me this. I would be all upset and mad, and I'm going down. And I'm going to talk to Jerry about what he said. And Norm said, "You will tell the guys." He said, "Hey, Jimmy will walk down to Jerry, and Jerry will tell Jimmy just how great he is, and Jimmy will walk out with a big smile on his face, and everything will be fine." He's the greatest salesman in the world.
That charisma sure is an excellent businessman. All right, Coach. So Michelob Ultra just pre-released a Super Bowl commercial, and I enjoy this question. I'm an introspective person. It says, are you happy because you win, or do you win because you're happy? So as a two-time Super Bowl winning head coach, what's your take on the role of the joy of winning?
You know, I saw the commercial and I started thinking about it. I said, it is a pretty cool commercial because when I'm upbeat and positive and happy, I was a better coach. I think everybody is in whatever job they might have. So it really is a cool commercial. And on top of that, 95 calories and only 2.6 carbs keeps me in shape because I'm an active guy.
Right. You look good,
It's
man.
that 2.6
You look
carbs.
good.
You can't beat it. 2.6 carbs.
Yeah.
You look good. You look good, Coach. You look good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen, even Max can burn the 2.6 carbs on the elliptical. We're all good. All right, Coach, thank you so much for being with us. We so appreciate you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Max is much better shape than Stephen A. Stephen A. hollers too much. He can't be in good shape.
Hey,
vocal cords are in
Coach,
good
I got
shape.
Here it comes.
I got
Here it
news for you. He got a bad back working on an elliptical. I don't
That's
think
true.
he's in any position to say that, Coach.
True.
Oh,
Herniated disc.
I hate to hear that.
Here we go. All got to work on.
I'm still
on
kicking,
the floor
Coach.
here.
I'm
Comes in
still
handy.
kicking, Coach.
All right. Jimmy Johnson, thank you so much. Enjoy the big game. We'll be watching you.
Okay, enjoy talking with y'all.
Take care.
All right, take care now.
First Take is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
It's time for us to lock in. Every guy know what it takes for them to get to the level that they need to be.
Open is Sanders in for the touchdown. It's Sanders at the 30. No one can get him at the 20, at the 10, and he's gone for the touchdown. Looks to throw in the middle. Touchdown!
It doesn't matter what team you go to. Just be ready to come to work every day.
Sanders gets up, takes a bow. What a play to Emmanuel Sanders.
Looking forward to seeing how good we can be.
He's one of the best receivers in football, a Super Bowl champ, friend of the show, Saints wideout Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel, good to see you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, always good to chop it up with you. I want to start with the Houston subject that's been all over the news, Deshaun Watson. If you were him, what would you do right now in this situation?
I tell people all the time, a lot of the fans, they look at it from the team perspective. And sometimes you got to look at it from the player perspective. Think about it. These organizations have been around for an extremely long time, and they're going to be around for a very long time. But you also got to look at Deshaun Watson's career. Most quarterbacks some play 20 years, but most people play like 10, 15 years. Some don't even play that. But still, just thinking from a year perspective, if I'm Deshaun, I'm looking at where can I go and put myself in the best position that I can be, right? And it's about happiness. I just saw the Michelob commercial, right? And what you guys are talking about, and it's about happiness. And if he's not happy, I think he should go and be happy and try to search and try to win a Super Bowl, because his career is not as long as guys think. And so he's just trying to position himself, and he's not happy. And you want to see a guy like that get on a team and possibly win a Super Bowl. So I hope it works out for him.
I'll put it in simpler terms. How the hell do you trade an all-world wide receiver like his boy, DeAndre Hopkins, who he went to school with, say to school for crying out loud, trade him, and he finds out about it on social media? Houston Texans, you deserve exactly what the hell you're getting right now. Now, Emmanuel Sanders, to you, my brother, to you. It's good to see you, by the way, my brother, but you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. What the hell happened to your Saints? You told me something different. 43-year-old quarterback took y'all out, or is the defense that took y'all out? Don't matter. They took y'all out. What happened?
Hey, we blew it. We blew it. 4 turnovers, right? We can't do that, right? And you got to think, if we have 4 turnovers versus the worst team in the NFL, we probably would have lost that game. We definitely can't do that in the playoffs. We definitely can't do that versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who has a defense right now that I think is playing lights out. That is going to give the Kansas City Chiefs fits, in my opinion, if they keep playing how they playing, because what I saw last week and what I saw versus us is a defense with linebackers that's flying around, with a D-line that's playing, and with DBs that's getting in your face, is playing confident with safety help. So we just dropped the ball, and it sucks because, Stephen, when I tell you I came to New Orleans because I wanted to win another Super Bowl, and I thought it was going to happen this year, and it didn't happen. And after that game, I just couldn't believe that we had those 4 turnovers and we lost that game, because I felt like going into it, I felt like we had an opportunity to blow them out, but they came ready to play and they beat us.
Drew Brees, who's an older quarterback now, had Michael Thomas, had you. That's about as good at a 1 and a 2 as you're going to get. Had Kamara. How much better you want out of the backfield? Catching passes, running the ball. Had a defense. And Emmanuel had a tie game in the 4th quarter. And this is what happened. Now, you said earlier, Deshaun should go where it makes him happy. What do you think? And you got Taysom Hill waiting in the wings. Respect to Taysom Hill. He's very good overall player. But Deshaun Watson at quarterback, what's your pitch to Deshaun Watson for New Orleans?
Oh, man, you trying to put me in a tough spot, because my boy Drew haven't retired yet, so it's hard for me to pitch that. But if Drew wasn't retired, obviously, there's nothing really to sell to Deshaun Watson, because I know for a fact that if Deshaun Watson had an opportunity, who wouldn't want to play for Sean Payton? I was just on a show this morning, and they were asking me about Jameis, and I said Jameis has positioned himself in a position to perform for offensive coordinator, head coach that knows what the hell is going on, right? And I know you take a lot of these guys, a lot of these young quarterbacks, and I see on this show all the time, you guys giving them fits like, this player's not playing, this guy's not playing, he's not playing up to par. But a lot of these guys really don't have offensive coordinators either. They don't have people that's putting them in position to make plays and put them in good positions to show their true talents. And Sean Payton is one of those coaches. I'm gonna tell you, just by how he addresses his team and the way that he goes about his business, he's going to put a quarterback in a good position. So if I'm a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who wouldn't want to play for Sean Payton in this offense? And so I think that sells itself right there.
I appreciate what you just said about Deshaun Watson. Makes total sense. Sounds very beautiful and eloquent. No doubt about that. But transitioning back to Jameis Winston for just a second, Emmanuel Sanders, where was he before he got to New Orleans?
Tampa Bay.
Who were his coaches?
Yeah.
Who's coaching in the Super Bowl right now?
Yeah. You got a valid point.
I mean, I don't know about that argument, Emmanuel. That's what I'm trying to say.
But they weren't coaching Jameis in the Super Bowl.
I mean, but here we go, okay? Would you sit back and say that it's the Tampa Bay offense the reason why they're in the Super Bowl, or would you say it's the Tampa Bay defense?
Well, I give the Hold on. Let me answer that. I give the Tampa Bay defense mad love, led by Todd Bowles and the crew. I got all that. Devin White and those boys, I got that. But the flip side is the offense ain't trash. Come on now.
I mean, for me, like if I had to look at the reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is in the Super Bowl, I would sit back and say because of their defense.
Yeah, you
Those
went up
guys
against them
turn the
twice.
ball over, they're making plays, and they're playing really well. Now that's not taking any credit away from their offense.
Okay.
But again, we're talking about putting guys in position to make plays, and we're talking about Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is going to put guys in position to make plays. He's been doing it over a long period of time.
Let me ask you this. Stephen A. wants to focus on Jameis Winston. I want to go back to Drew Brees. Emmanuel, what are you hearing? Does he want to come back? Do you think he will come back?
I haven't heard really anything. Truthfully, I'm sitting around just like you guys, waiting to see what's going to go on. But I talked to a couple media outlets, and they asked me, obviously, put the pressure on me and wanted to know, just like Stephen A. always trying to do, and First Take is always trying to do. And I enjoy it, but I'm one of them types that I got to keep it real and. Like if somebody said you got to put $1 million on whether he retires or not, I'm gonna put my $1 million on that he retires, right? And so it's one of them situations. But one thing I can tell you is it's only one Super Bowl champion at the end of the year, and no matter what, no matter how far you go, we went all the way last year with the San Francisco 49ers. I went all the way last year with the San Francisco 49ers, and at the end of the year, I still felt just like the other 31 teams that lost. And so, with that said, if Drew Brees does come back, I know a lot of people are saying Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that, Super Bowl that, but to win, 14 games, 12 games in a year, 10 games in a year, like you can't beat that because I've been on teams that only won 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 games a year. And so I appreciate that. And I remember when Peyton retired, and obviously after Peyton retired, the Broncos went, they haven't really had a winning season since. And so, when you have a quarterback like that who can get you into the postseason, that can help you win games, you always root for those guys to kind of come back, even though, everybody says they don't have that. But still, he led us to 12, 13. And he's a great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back or not.
Let me get to you personally because I got love and respect for you. You know that you've been in the league for 12 years. Okay. Now let me hear the people forget because they saw you in the Super Bowl. They saw you in the Super Bowl last year. You were in New Orleans this year. You almost forget you won a Super Bowl in Denver. You used to be in Pittsburgh with Big Ben. So as you get an opportunity to reflect, you played with Big Ben, you played with Peyton Manning, you played with Jimmy Garoppolo, you played with Drew Brees. I mean, which place did you enjoy most over the course of your career, Emmanuel Sanders?
Man, I tell you what, it had to be Denver. And that's because we won the Super Bowl there, right? And playing with Akeem Talib and Von Miller and Chris Harris and all them guys and being able to win it all. You can't take that for granted. Then those 6 years that I did spend in Denver, it was just some good years. I went to the Pro Bowl out there, won a Super Bowl, just had some really good years. But as I reflect back, truthfully, like I appreciate everything. I appreciate playing in Pittsburgh with Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger and Le'Veon Bell, and I just appreciate and thank God. It's been a true blessing to play with so many great players and really just sum it up and go on different teams and really see like how guys work and taking a piece of their work ethic and adding it to mine, adding certain stuff to mine, because I feel like the more and more that you get out of it, the more and more that you explore, the more diverse you become and the more culture you become. And so it's been a blessing to play with all those guys, truthfully.
Emmanuel, getting back to the Super Bowl this year, Jimmy Johnson was just on this show, and Coach actually feels the way I do. Tom Brady's the GOAT, no two ways about it. Look at the career accomplishments. But the best he's ever put his eyes on, and he mentioned John Elway and Aaron Rodgers too, the best he ever put his eyes on is Patrick Mahomes. When you watch Mahomes play, what do you think of him as a quarterback?
Yeah, it's crazy because the best I've seen spin the ball, definitely Aaron Rodgers, and I love watching him play because just the way that he releases the ball, the way that he gets the ball out of his hand.